This week, we talk about Duey turning from fat to fit, losing 50 pounds. We're going to talk about all that. Also, we'll take the mystery out of Oxidative Priority and check in to see if I'm any less fat. Let's get into it.
I feel like Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. Yeah, this rocks. Heavy metal kicks ass.
My favorite Beavis and Butthead line ever.
Yeah.
Hands down, if I were to YouTube it right now, I'd laugh still. Is when they're watching, I think it was Salt and Peppa. And she goes, "Oh, look at him. He's the finest brother in here." And it was them just on the stage, and he came walking in.
Yeah.
And Butthead goes, he's the only brother in there.
God, we used to laugh so hard at that freaking show.
We had help.
All right, well, welcome to another chock full episode of Fit and Furious. This one is so chock full of good information, we should charge double yet again.
Done.
Yes, and we're going to get into a deep dive into Dewey's story. He went from fat to fit, dropped 50 lbs, and also why that's not the most important metric. But before we do that, I want to talk about some news stories here. So did you see this tweet from Epicurious?
I did.
And do you even, what is Epicurious? I don't even know what it is.
I'm still curious. But I did see, I just see the outlandish. There must be some, no, I take that back. That's not accurate. I did click on it. There's some like home order meal service.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
So basically what they announced was, it said, and I'll read it for the audio listeners. Today we announced that Epicurious is cutting out beef. It won't appear in new Epi recipes, articles, newsletters, or on social. This isn't a vendetta against cows or people who eat them. It's a shift about sustainability, not anti-beef, but pro-planet.
But guess what's all, so I clicked on their Instagram because I saw this on Baker's.
Oh, Sean
Instagram.
Baker. Yep.
So
All the carnivores jumped on.
Oh, they're all over it. But then I jumped on Epicurious's Instagram account.
Okay.
And I scrolled down a little ways. It's fucking meat everywhere. Chicken. There's like whole chickens. What about the chickens?
Well, yeah. This is just so dumb in my opinion. Well, first of all, they're just wrong that it's about sustainability. There's nothing more sustainable than regenerative agriculture and cows being on pastures. We've talked about that. We brought up tons of documentaries.
Yep. And I have a question.
That.
I have a question that I actually asked Dr. Baker on his Instagram account. But he was too busy eating 6 ribeyes in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Or whatever ridiculous thing he did. But here's my question. I don't disagree. We don't have to go down this rabbit hole.
Yep.
This is rhetorical.
Yep.
Here's my question. I don't disagree that as far as regeneration, that regenerative farming is the way to go for sustainability and creating richer soil.
Highly preferable. Yep.
Yeah.
2 monocrops. Yeah.
Perfect. We all agree.
Yep.
Then do it. Nobody's doing it. There's like 2 companies out there.
Well, the problem is because the demand,
it's not enough to move the needle.
Right, but the demand is for the row crops and that's why.
No, the demand is for the feeder house, the feed lot cows that are fed with corn and fattened.
Right, like whoever McDonald's buys from.
That's
right.
So
as far as
you
meat
make
goes,
that shift.
Right.
That's my question. I'm not doubting the logic from an ecosystem standpoint, but I'm doubting that it can ever be done.
Well, I don't know how that will be done, but that's for smarter people than us to decide.
Well, there's only like 4 though.
But cutting out meat is not the answer. Cutting out beef is not the answer, obviously. No. So anyways, Nina Techholz, who is one of the, she wrote The Big Fat Surprise.
She's pretty good.
And her response was, vilifying a highly nutritious food in a nation suffering from nutritional deficiencies that cause disease and developmental problems in children is not responsible. Doesn't respect health, and in my view, cancels out the virtue signaling. So that was her response.
She's spot on.
Exactly. And
they cancel beef, but then all of a sudden, Coca-Cola is sponsoring the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well,
don't cancel them though.
And Epicurious's main argument was really against like whoever supplies McDonald's or whatever, right?
Sure.
So, but would you rather eat a quarter pounder, the beef off a quarter pounder from McDonald's, or cornflakes? Right. I would still argue that, given the gun to my head, those two are the only choices. That the quarter pounder meat from McDonald's is still a better choice.
Yeah.
Because they're both bad for the planet.
The meat,
the monocrops, and the feedlot
product.
Right. Well, yeah, it might be horse, but at least it's an animal. But that's still going to be the better choice. So really, the choice isn't between regenerative or feedlot; it's between monocrop cereal products and feedlot beef. I'd still choose the feedlot beef; would be preferable environmentally and health-wise if you had to pick between those two options.
Right, for sure.
So okay,
now we got to move on to Ted Naiman.
Now we got Ted Naiman.
ADD's kicking in with that. What's happening on the side? So I'm wondering about.
Here's what Ted Naiman said. He's another, very pro-protein doctor. How about supporting sustainable agriculture instead? Last I checked, ruminants were an important part of our natural ecosystems, and giant fields of monocropped and fertilizer and pesticide-ridden, insert lower protein and lower nutrient density plant crop here, were not. So again, he's obviously, we both agree that sustainable agriculture is better. But again, the debate really is between cereal monocrops and the feedlot agriculture.
We should follow Epicurious just to feed into why they even made this statement in the first place.
Yeah. I didn't do a lot of research. I just saw people freaking out, and then I took the bait.
Oh, yeah. It's been for a few days.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, though. So just what's more interesting, though, is how they felt the need to declare this and how virtuous they were and how they're helping the planet. And really, that they were just trying to get clout from that. Bottom line, that's what it was.
And attention, because you and I had never heard of Epicurious until Tuesday.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, you wonder, sometimes are these companies legitimately trying to do they feel they're doing the right thing, or is this just like a troll to get attention? You just never know.
Sometimes
Yeah, sometimes you do. And I get more skeptical in my old age.
And that's why I said in the beginning, that's why I think it's a troll, because if you scroll through their Insta, there's meat everywhere.
Right. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Starting today.
Well,
starting this day forward.
Yeah, they're going to shit on meat. They're going to cut meat out. But then, chickens grown in those,
cages.
Yeah, how is that not just as bad?
Yeah.
Come on.
They cut their beaks off.
So it's really just there's nothing authentic about their
substance.
Declarations. Yeah, there's no substance. Okay, so that was kind of interesting.
Frauds.
Here's another article I saw that was really, my buddy Jack shared this with me. And this is freaking hilarious. Well, you heard the Babylon Bee, right? Well, this is their, I don't want to say straight news, but this is the stuff that's not a parody. Okay,
as far as you know.
Right. Well, here's the title. Apparently, Gen Z doesn't know what meat is, and I am now weeping for our future. So here's the tweet that caused this. It says, the meat is the muscle on the chicken. We be eating chicken muscle, not just meat. And then somebody replies, I don't know, but whatever part we eat must be the part of the chicken because it's good as F. And then somebody says, what do y'all think meat is?
No, I feel dumb as F.
So and then they comment, well, that sure is unsettling. Here's the original tweet. I want to show you some of the replies so you know how screwed our world is about to be. So, yeah, we be eating chicken muscle, not just meat. And then he says, just a quick reminder, these people can vote. And then she says, WTF, I thought it was just meat. WTF. So she thought meat was just some type of food product, in the Bill Gates Impossible Whopper realm that was generated in a lab, possibly. She had no idea. And this is how disconnected we are from our food supply. She's never hunted, obviously, and never dressed any animal, never been to a butcher shop. Her meat probably comes in a McDonald's wrapper most of the time. But even at the grocery store, it comes in a nice little styrofoam package. And she's completely disconnected from...
She's disconnected from the concept that muscle is meat, meat is muscle.
Yeah, that it actually comes from animals. And then...
I don't think that. I think she's...
I don't know, dude.
I think she's saying there's two different parts.
I don't think she thinks it comes from animals.
If you're a chicken, well, perfect, you got bird chest. But if this is the chicken meat or the muscle, then the meat's somewhere else.
She thinks the meat's like just in a different part.
Right.
Okay.
It's not any better.
Not any smarter. So then her tweet is, "What WTF? I thought it was just meat, WTF." And then someone replies, "So we be eating animal muscles to grow our own muscles?" These people can drive. These people can vote. These people will be running the country before long. There's more. And then somebody says, "All meat is muscle. Are y'all for real?" I thought it was skin, laughing my ass off. The whole drumstick is skin all the way down to the bone. I just want to understand. Laugh my ass off. I don't even know. I just figured the skin is thick and there's many layers. Never really thought about it. But in hindsight, it makes sense that it's all muscle.
Oh, thanks, Skylar. There's hope for our future.
Wow.
She gets it.
These geniuses.
It just took her a while to get there.
Oh, there's PRX again. Kudos to the PRX marketing team, because ever since I went to their website and bought some products, their ads follow me everywhere.
Yeah, their algorithms are solid.
Okay, we were only just eating skin all the way down to the bone. These geniuses are graduating from high school and going to college and getting degrees. This is probably my favorite exchange. And then he says, "Wait, meat is muscle? I thought muscle was muscle and meat is meat."
That's what I was saying. It's two different parts.
Okay, but where do you think the meat came from? The bone marrow? I thought there was meat and muscle spelled wrong in the same body. I didn't think they were the same thing. Oh my God.
See? Do you want dark meat or white meat? I want muscle meat.
Right, like it's a separate category. Did you think you had meat in your own body too? Yes.
Wow.
Girl, oh, here, it gets good now. Girl, you don't even want to know what ribs are then.
She's got to be trolling.
Wait, what are ribs?
They got to be trolling her.
Oh my God, I just found this out a couple of years back and everyone acted like I was dumb for not knowing. Ha ha. Well, there's also light and dark meats too. Like you just said. I was literally about to Google what part of animals meat is yesterday, and here you go. Oh my God. That's freaking hilarious, dude.
You know what I think? Dude, you know what? It just dawned on me. You know what it is? We just got played. That's all one big troll.
I want to think that, but man,
I have to think that.
I have no confidence in that.
I have to think that.
I mean, there are people, out there that are that, and not even dumb. You don't want to say dumb because their brains operate. They're just literally ignorant. They just don't know. They haven't been told in school. Right. So, I mean, they have the capacity to understand once it's explained to them, but just what it demonstrates is how out of touch they are from the food supply.
Whoa.
And just thinking that everything just magically appears in the grocery store.
I thought this Nano X was a...
Oh, okay. Now
I thought this was like an onion story.
No, here's another thing. Okay, so I saw this ad pop up on my Facebook thing. And
I thought it was Box Basics and some other companies just fucking with us.
Yeah, you thought it was like April 1st, April Fool's joke or something?
Or just, the joke was that's a CrossFit shoe.
Right.
And vegan.
Because people can't shut up about it.
Yeah, you always know everyone's vegan or CrossFit.
For the audio listeners, we're looking at the Reebok Nano X1 vegan shoe. Okay.
Yeah, there's a Nano vegan.
I mean, I don't even know what to say about this shit.
I thought it was fake.
No, this is real. And I kind of went down a rabbit hole. I started looking at vegan. Think about it. If you're a vegan, you don't want animals to be destroyed for your purposes at all. And, they don't eat leather, or they don't wear leather, right? Like they'll have fake leather. So think about shoes. A lot of shoes are made of leather. So if you're a vegan, you can't just walk into Foot Locker and go, "Give me that shoe," because for all you know, it's got half a cow in it.
As they're trying it on, the salesman's going, "Moo."
Right. Exactly. So it makes sense, honestly, it makes sense that Reebok would market to this.
Especially after CrossFit dumped them.
Right. So and just because they're following the trends and, the smart.
Is it a trend?
It is. I mean, people, a lot of people have tried vegan. So I saw that ad and
I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it.
You said that. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm going to wait until I got quite a bit of burger and chicken and some fish to get through first, and a crate of eggs.
I want to definitely follow the results of that.
I'm so scared.
You should go get a InBody before you do it, or whatever scan you can to detect your lean.
Or maybe I'll get one of those Pinoy things.
Oh, we'll have to tell us what that is later. But yeah, I'd like to know your lean muscle mass before and after, and if you do it for like a solid month or whatever.
Oh, I'm gonna do it longer than that.
All right.
Just
do it until
I'm
we
gonna
can
do it
bench.
as long as I can.
No, do it until we can bench the same.
It'll probably be like 2 weeks. We're gonna have to switch chairs.
Yeah, buddy.
Grow my hair longer and come up with little radio quips and
Get a lot funnier.
get a radio voice. Yeah, a lot funnier.
Yeah. So, anyways, here's the article about, the straight up, hey, we made this vegan shoe and it's certified. And basically, what they do is because apparently some sneakers have collagen in them, and that's from animals, right?
Yeah, that's.
But
Ow.
and they think it's here's their claim. We have a responsibility not just to design and create with our consumers in mind, but also planet Earth. Products like the Nano X1 Vegan are small but important steps we're taking towards our bold future sustainability ambitions as a brand. Okay, whatever. Then I found this other article talking about how vegan shoes are bullshit. And here's the relevant passage. The problem is that faux leather and fur are often made of synthetic petroleum-based materials like polyvinyl chloride, PVC, and polyurethane, PUs. Essentially, they're plastic. Technically, the cheap plastic and foam flip-flops that wash up on the beaches around the world are vegan. Plus, in pursuing a degree of similarity that'll make people want to wear these shoes, companies often apply harmful chemicals that make them look and bend and wear just like the real deal. So really, are you saving the planet by wearing the vegan shoes? You're just getting more petroleum on your
Might as
freaking-
well be a baby diaper.
Exactly. Or, God forbid, a straw. The stuff that chokes out the turtles,
Yeah.
I mean, so what?
Yeah.
First of all, they're just missing the mark. The best thing a shoe could be made of would be natural, biodegradable animal hide, right? I mean, a moccasin made out of leather is probably the most sustainable product there is because if you're gonna eat the cow anyways, and you make a moccasin out of the leather,
It's like legit nose to tail.
exactly, you're consuming all of the animal, nothing goes to waste, and it biodegrades much easier than some PVC shoe.
Plus, I am not going down this rabbit hole. But
But here we go.
no, I'm really not because I can't speak intelligently enough on it. But
That's never stopped you before.
it never stops me
Ever.
every Friday. There was this gal on with Joe Rogan a couple of weeks ago, and she was talking about plastics and what it's doing to humans and
Oh, and like the little
deforming babies and
the little chunks in the ocean and stuff.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw a little bit of that.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
So, and that's everything that she's talking about. That's literally making people ill and giving them diseases and cancers and all this stuff.
Right.
That's what that shoe is made out of.
Yeah. Exactly. So not only are you
Under the guise of saving
improving the planet,
right?
yeah, and really you're just worsening your health, not using up all the animal, and doing an environmentally worse product.
Right.
Ugh, just not smart. All right, well, that's the Reebok vegan shoe.
Sweet.
Blech, I say blech. And okay,
Spell that.
BLEECCHH.
I don't think so. I think it's BLEK.
Okay, I want to talk about. I saw this article about one of my favorite rock stars,
On purpose? Well, you guys have the same build.
Phil Collin. No, this guy's way more ripped than anybody.
Oh,
He's
look at
60,
his
63
shoulders.
fucking years old. Okay,
He is?
63.
Holy
Phil Collin from Def Leppard. And this is going to be a tough article because, well, you'll find out. It's going to be tough for me to admit something on here. So Phil Collin, if you don't know, he's the guitarist from Def Leppard, and he always plays with his shirt off because he's jacked. And he talks about
Those have to be airbrushed.
well, no, I've seen plenty
That's
of
awesome.
videos of him, but he's 60 freaking 3 years old, and he's always shirtless. It says, and he
I would be too.
exactly. And he during lockdown, of course they couldn't tour. They had their huge tour, last summer got
The child support tour.
right.
Every old washed up band does.
I got to pay for my 6 ex-wives.
Right.
Yeah, alimony. Anyways, he basically and he's been healthy for a long time, but he worked out. He started working his ass off even more last year. And here's what's hard for me to admit. He's been vegan for decades. See, so when I see a guy ripped and jacked like this, normally I would go, well, he must be eating meat, right? Well, according to him, he's vegan. And, I'm one to it. I'll admit
absolutely.
when if a guy's pulling it off, I'm not going to sit here and look at him and go, he's not in shape because
it works.
He's in freaking shape.
Yeah.
So, but I would theorize he's probably an outlier. If you gave most people told most people be vegan and get that jacked, they wouldn't be able to do it.
It could maybe.
He could be a genetic anomaly, kind of.
He could be for sure, but he also could be.
So
I'm a vegan. Well, except for the whey protein.
Well, right.
And the eggs.
Yeah, and the eggs, exactly. And all the salmon. And the ribeyes.
Right. But other than that.
Other than that, I'm totally vegan on Tuesdays. So he talks about he does 45 minutes a day and a little cardio. And he used to do a grueling 3-month pre-tour fitness plan. He does Muay Thai, a lot of martial arts kind of stuff, a lot of body weight stuff. And, it's just kind of interesting. And see, there's him on stage. See, looking jacked.
Dude, he looks 23.
I know. And this is circa 2015, so he was 58 there, 59. I mean, that's crazy, dude. I mean, most 25-year-olds do not look that good.
Right.
So, I got to give it up for him, pulling that off at his age and even being, in spite of, in my opinion, in spite of being vegan, managed to pull that off.
He overcame the obstacles, even the ones he created.
Exactly. Yes. That's what I'm saying. Oh, dude. So that's cool.
I'll find out.
So that's Phil
I'll
Collins.
find out if Phil Collins.
I saw this meme that was kind of funny. For those that are listening, it says, what most people do, and then it says cardio 60% is a pie chart. Cardio 60%, pills 35%, and diet 5%. And it says what to actually do, diet 70%, lifting 25%, cardio 5%. Thoughts?
100%.
That's true. It does it up to 100%. You're right about that.
Yeah, you know my answer.
Mm-hmm.
Depends.
It depends. Yes.
What are their goals? What are your goals?
If you were going to pick one of those, you had to recommend to 1,000 people.
Oh,
you would say
for total
work on your diet.
Yeah,
lifting second, and then cardio the least important.
Yeah.
If you had to make a choice.
If you had to make a blanket statement in a shit pile of assumptions, yeah, I think the right side's right. But I don't. For me, I'm trying to get faster, and I want to run. I'm not going to spend as much time lifting as I am running.
Right.
So
yeah, and you have a specific training goal.
Yeah, it depends on where you're at.
But it's funny though because when I was a kid, it was all jogging. That was the new craze.
Right.
In the 70s.
Yep.
Jogging.
With your leisure suit.
Yeah, right. Everybody was just, jogging and then the jazzercising. And I remember my mom had a record.
Oh, my Lord.
That was like literally, I think it was jazzercise. And it had like,
Sure.
songs. And then it would be like, okay, do this for, somebody would do a voiceover over top of the song. Okay, do jumping jacks for 3, 2, 1, and then do 10 of these.
Funny.
And, and my sisters and my mom would do this jazzercise stuff in the living room. But that was it was all cardio back then.
Oh, for sure.
There was nobody.
Well, it's all about heart healthy, low fat.
Yeah, it was heart healthy, do cardio. Nobody was doing squats, bench press, that kind of stuff. Just like those are the outlier gym bros, bodybuilder types.
Right. And then we realized that what they were doing and what your mom should have been doing only differ in degree, not in kind.
Exactly. Yes. That deserves a bomb, baby.
That's a CrossFit truth bomb.
It is. That's good.
I just copyright infringement.
Well, and then the funny thing is too, the pills 35%, right? So they're counting on the statin, the blood pressure meds, the insulin, all that to save them. They could control with diet.
We'll get into it here when we start talking about my journey.
The Duey story.
But you know how many times when people would see like my fat ass before after? Right to 35%. What'd you take?
Oh,
what are your supplements? What are your supplements? What were you taking?
They
taking
it was
like a stack? Well, I mean, what was it? I'm like, I don't know, went to bed hungry and
Yeah, these
worked my ass
pills.
off.
These pills that come in a shell and they have a yolk in them and a white.
Right.
They're protein pills, bro.
Yeah.
They come out of a chicken.
But yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into
It's
that
true.
exactly. So yeah, that was kind of a good illustration, I thought, about what people should be doing versus what they're actually probably doing. All right, well, let's talk about our Mission 22 progress, our April push-up challenge.
I already know what I have left because I'm gonna do all them all
Did
at
you
once.
kick butt on it?
Yeah, I have one set left, and I'm gonna video this one, and it's gonna be gruesome. I should have videoed on Saturday, but
I have done a total of 2,031 push-ups.
Oh, you're there.
I have 169 to go, and we're
good.
recording this on the 28th, so I got like 3 more days. So yeah, at my like 45 evening, 45 morning, I'm right on pace.
okay. I have 500, and I'm gonna do them all at once.
You crazy.
Yeah.
You crazy.
But you know why? I decided to do another set just to get 500 again
Yeah,
because I have to.
right.
Because I don't know if I have any in me.
That's what procrastinators do. They got to make it all up at once,
Got to
right?
be extreme.
This is the tortoise and the hare thing,
Yep.
because I was just like slow and steady, 45 every morning, 45 every night.
Yep.
But I purposely built in a buffer because I did fuck up a couple times.
Sure.
And I went to bed at like midnight and I go, shit, I didn't do my evening ones. I just completely spaced it.
Yep.
But luckily I had built in enough of a
Yeah.
over buffer that I was
Yep.
okay with that.
Yep.
But actually, soreness wise and everything, I've been doing fine to the point where I think I'm going to continue it because it's so easy to do 45 at night, 45 in the
I
morning.
might continue with just without the vest.
Right. Because it gets a good pump. I feel like I'm activating stuff and it's just more working out throughout the day.
Right.
And, there's no.
The more thermogenesis you can create during the day, the better.
Speaking of that, been watching a bunch of fitness bodybuilding stuff on YouTube, and there's kind of we're talking about the how to do when we did our 5 big lifts episode, we talked about the workout programming and how often to work out every muscle set, or every area of the body every week and all that kind of stuff. Because back in the day, it was always like, you did a push day or like push pull and then like a legs or whatever. And as a result, you'd only work out like the biceps maybe once a week, maybe twice, depending on your frequency.
Yeah.
But what they're saying is the muscle will grow for a period after you work it out. It'll adapt and grow, and then it stops. So, and if you wait a whole nother week, you've missed out on a window of sparking that stimulus again.
Absolutely.
So what kind of the new modern thinking is the more times you work out a muscle group a week, the better. So I think I'm going to switch over to full body and do that like every other day, or so that I get more frequently
That's a long session though.
Well, it depends, like there's the 5x5. It's like
Right.
just doing 5 sets of the 5 big lifts.
Yep.
You can do that in a half hour.
And that's why
Heavy weights, lower reps.
the old bro sesh was so popular back in the day when I first got into lifting a lot. Was the back, buys, chest, tries,
Right.
shoulders, legs. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, start all over.
So every day you would do a different body part.
Monday, chest tries.
Okay.
And
It's all pushing.
some people listening are like, oh, duh. This is pretty common.
Yeah.
But it's chest tries Monday, back buys Tuesday, shoulders, legs Wednesday, Thursday, back buys, chest tries, legs, shoulders. Sunday off.
So then, but still, then you're only working the chest twice a week.
Twice a week, though not once.
Right.
But if you're with a buddy and you have a spotter and you're going to absolute ass-crushing failure, you can't go more than twice.
Right. Well, that's true too, because of the soreness and the recovery time. And
Yep.
yeah. Well, so just that was
Intensity matters.
a little bit of an aside there. So,
Yeah.
just something to think about. So for our term this week, we're going to define the term
It's one of my favorites.
oxidative priority.
What before you click on anything, what do you think that I discuss and what's the topic that I discussed this most with nutrition clients?
What's that, Mike Tyson?
I got really
You're working at your tongue too
I
much.
didn't
It's
do
sore.
I didn't do those acting exercises beforehand.
Speaking of guys with weird mouth and jaw stuff, I watched this crazy ass video of this guy. It's either TikTok or Instagram that has this insane jawline, and he's like, no, he works it out.
Come on.
Yeah, like he works out his jaw by like I don't know chewing or something. He's got a crazy ass. I gotta find him real
That
quick.
sounds made up. I'll tell this story. Have you ever seen Between Two Ferns?
Yeah, yeah.
God, I was sending it to a buddy this weekend. Oh my God. That's real?
Okay, I'll put this on the.
He looks like a caricature.
Look at this guy's freaking jaw, dude. Right?
He works that out.
Yeah, he works it out, and well, plus he was just genetically born.
He looks like a cartoon character.
But they're theorizing, did he have implants of some sort? Because that is redonk. But look, he advertises this product. See,
Well, does he advertise the product because he looks like that?
I
Or does he look like that because of the product?
yeah, who knows? I don't know. But
Somebody said they're drinking around or sitting around drinking beer, smoking weed. They're like, dude, you should sell a jaw exerciser and tell people that's how you got that way.
all they did was buy a stress ball and then just sell it for $29.99.
Right.
People on audio, go to YouTube and look up CEO of Jawline. That's all you got to search for.
It's ridiculous.
It's redonk. I mean, yeah, it kind of gives me the willies.
It does. He looks like a caricature.
He looks unnatural.
Like if you went to the fair and they drew a picture of you and your girlfriend, and that's how he'd make your jaw.
Yeah, he looks like a fake face. All right, so that's completely squirrel there.
Weird.
Okay, so you're gonna
So no, the Between Two
oxidative
Ferns.
priority.
Oh, I was going to
Is that
tell
where we're
a
at?
funny story.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
No, it's fine.
I'm ready.
You've
Two
seen it
ferns.
though.
Yep, I've
with
seen it.
Zach Galifianakis.
Yep.
Well, he had Matthew McConaughey on. Did you see that interview?
I'm sure I did.
And he
I
goes-
watched all of them.
And you know he's all like deadpan and he's quiet and he's like,
Deadpan and super insulting, passive aggressive.
"Raw, it's so awesome."
Yeah.
And he goes, "So, of all the things you could have won an Oscar for, did it surprise you that it was for acting?"
Yes, that's good.
Oh, that's such a funny bit.
That guy's funny as hell. Okay, oxidative priority. That's our term for the week.
Yes.
Now,
So,
do you want me
what
to-
topic are we discussing with a client? And I bring that
Oh,
up.
okay.
Popular as hell.
Yeah,
Everybody who hires me asks about it.
Keto.
Nope.
Intermittent fasting.
Nope. Okay, here's my plan. So, but the weekend's coming up. What about
Oh, drinking.
bingo?
Okay. Right, because
That's
well,
number
we'll
one, yeah.
find that out. It's
number one.
right. Okay, so I found this article here. So basically, the article's called "What is Keto?" and then they're kind of going through the whole thing about keto and oxidative priority. Okay, here now there's a nice little graph here. So oxidative priority of the food we eat. So it basically is the order in which your body will burn,
The order in which it prefers.
which it prefers to burn each substance. So like if you
With
had
each,
a meal,
each macro.
yeah, if you had a meal full of all of these items, which is it body going to use up for energy first? And our goal in weight loss is to get it to use stored body fat.
Right.
Well, look where that is. It's number 5.
Right.
After number 4 is protein, 3 is carbs, 2 is ketone supplements. What the hell? I haven't even heard of that.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Why would you
ketones.
even-
They drink ketones. By the
And
way.
then number 1 is alcohol. Okay, well,
Yep.
I'm going to just completely dismiss number 2 there because I heard a perfectly stated way of saying how dumb they are. It's like spraying sweat on yourself and saying you worked out.
It's like washing your car in the rain.
Right. So don't take ketone supplements, people.
You can make them.
Yeah, you're just lighting up the ketone strip for no reason. It's bullshit. So anyways, we'll ignore that. We'll say alcohol. So if you go out on the weekend and you eat a pizza, drink a bunch of alcohol, eat some meat, and then have some, body fat that you want to burn, guess what's going to get burned last? The fats, the body fat. So what you want to do is not give your body any of those first 4 things so that it is forced to use the stored body fat and burn that. Did I assess it right?
Absolutely. And the reason alcohol's number 1, because it's poison.
Yeah,
Your body recognizes it and goes, "Oh shit, we got to get rid of this. This is not
that
supposed
why?
to be here."
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now let's just So we cover our bases here. Define the term. So, what is oxidative priority? It's simply the order in which you tend to burn the fuels available to your body, i.e., alcohol, ketones, glucose, protein, and fat. Imagine if you poured crude oil on the ground and poured petrol on top of it and lit a match. The petrol will burn off quickly while the oil may not even ignite. Oil burns slowly while petrol burns rapidly. So, they're basically equating it to those two different types of oil or liquids there. So, yeah, that's not the super clear way of explaining it, but yeah, basically you don't want to give your body the first four things on the list so that it will start using the body fat stored on your body, and that's why fasting works so well, and that's why prioritizing fat and protein to train your body to be fat adapted works so well, and skipping the carbs, obviously skipping the ketone supplements, and sorry everybody, skipping the booze. You coach people, you say,
I say,
is drinking like pretty much like eating a Snickers? I mean, you're saying, go ahead, you're an adult, but you're screwing up your plan.
Depends on how frontal I want to be.
Right.
Sometimes I say, then you need, that's fine. Keep hammering the beers. However, we need to set realistic expectations for your progress.
Because
you're not going to lose 2 pounds a week.
Right. If
you're not going to lose 2 pounds a month.
Because the more hardcore you are,
right,
the more effective your plan's going to be.
Yep.
So, yeah, really, it's in their court. It's like, do you want to lose at the maximum possible rate? Don't drink.
So here's my favorite comeback. You sure? Because my friend's ripped. She drinks all the time. Are you her? No. So forget that.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not her.
Right.
And when you're ripped like your friend, then maybe we can reintroduce some of it. But guess what? We got a lot of work to do before we get there.
Plus, I guarantee their diet is completely different.
They're already there.
Yeah, the ripped person is eating.
Right.
They're in the proper caloric
Yes.
intake, and they have the lean muscle that can
Right.
burn more, and
Yep.
they're set up.
Stop comparing yourself.
You have a bunch of excess body fat to burn,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't get to compare yourself to them yet.
And you had all your fun. Now it's done, but now it's time to work.
It's kind of like it's like cheat days. Like a lot of people I've heard in the keto and carnivore and stuff. There's always this debate about, okay, I just go balls. I'm hardcore during the week and then cheat days on the weekend, or maybe one day a week. And man, I just feel like that's not the best way to go about it.
It's not. You're
you're
unpacking everything you did that week.
right. I mean, if you're hardcore, you can drop your pound or your pound and a half, and then you can gain all that and more in one cheat day.
One cheat meal.
Right. So you can completely reverse all the progress you made.
Yep.
Especially because of the hyperpalatability. Your chances of overeating and overconsuming the products that you were just going to have a couple of slices of pizza, you end up eating 6 or 10, and then you're just way, way, way over.
And just like when you were in college and you hooked up with that 9, that next morning she was a 2. Those are the same decisions you make with food.
Well, of course, you don't mean me because I've never drank, but the theoretical you.
Sure, yeah. The hypothetical
I knew they were a 2.
The hypothetical.
That's even more sad.
It is sad.
But I was a 10 to them, God damn it. That's all that matters. All right.
But same thing. Or
Yeah,
the philosophy remains
Yep.
that you're going to make bad decisions.
exactly. All right. Well, it's time, baby. Are you ready? Ready to get deep into your story?
Well, I'm me. So
You were there.
nothing to get ready.
So we're going to talk about how you lost 50 pounds. And really, that's not even the best metric because, as we all know, Arnold Schwarzenegger weighed a lot more than any of us, and he was jacked, But when you see some of these pictures, you're going to, 50 pounds is a significant amount. So first, let's talk about when you grew up, okay? What was your nutrition like, your diet like when you were a kid? What was your attitudes towards what you're putting in your mouth, working out, all that stuff?
Define kid.
Like, you know, when just elementary school.
Elementary school
Yeah,
was
all that.
different.
Okay.
Elementary school was, those were the lean single mom years.
Okay.
So we were paycheck, not even paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
It was government cheese and government program to government.
Dude, I had
program.
that shit too. The stuff in the big foil
Oh yeah,
was a big rectangle.
that was our cheat day.
That
Otherwise,
talk about petroleum.
right.
I think they're making Reebok vegan shoes out of that stuff now.
Right. No kidding. So that the early years nutrition was
Scarce.
buttered noodles were a good night, and the milk was a commodity.
Right.
So then fast forward a few years, so we were
Now, were you lean? Like, were you pretty lean as a kid?
very,
Okay.
very, very lean as a kid.
One of those guys who could just pack
Yep.
away whatever food you wanted.
Yep,
and
super skinny. So part of it was we got introduced to foods that you shouldn't eat at other places. So it was never part of in our house day to day.
Pop-Tarts, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we were going, what the hell are these? We'd see the commercials on cartoons.
Yeah.
But
Right.
but then fast forward, my mom got remarried and we were good. You know, my stepdad had a good job and took care of us
Right.
and things were a little more normalcy.
So what did you eat then?
That's when we got Frosted Flakes
Okay.
and
Basically whatever you wanted was
pretty
there.
much within reason, but we never went without. And it was always, like I said, Frosted Flakes and
But there was no,
orange juice.
and this is not a criticism because everybody was like this. You know, you were just, you had no knowledge that stuff was even bad for you.
No, of course not.
You think it's good, you know, well, it's packed full of vitamins and minerals, just like we talked about on our first episode about the balanced breakfast.
And they
Or the
wouldn't
balanced
be
breakfast.
and they wouldn't be sponsoring Tom and Jerry
Right.
if it wasn't good for you.
Speaking of that, there's this whole science behind where they put things in the grocery store. Have you like all the sugared cereals are on the lower shelves?
Where the kids can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that way when the 3-year-old walks by, they see the thing they saw
And
during
it's not
the cartoons.
it's not the generic ones.
Right.
Those are on the top.
Yep.
Kids don't look up.
Nope.
They're like deer. When you're at a deer stand, deer usually don't look up.
Right.
So, anyways, but it still didn't matter. Ate what I want.
Yeah.
Didn't matter. I could eat and eat and eat and eat and probably lose weight.
How much meat did you guys eat?
A lot.
Okay.
Because stepdad grew up on a farm. A lot of farm fare.
Right.
Butchered chickens, butchered our own pigs out at the farm, and we got as much as we wanted.
I'm hungry. I'm hungry right
Occasionally, they'd always get like a quarter or half a cow,
Mm-hmm.
and we had a deep freezer as big as this table.
now. Yep.
Never went without. Always had 3 squares, and it was always meat and potatoes
Yep. Good old fashioned.
and the other junk.
good old fashioned Midwest food.
Right, but it wasn't the junk outside of the breakfast cereal. Was extremely infrequent. We just didn't have it a lot.
And you never ever thought about even how much am I eating? I'm overeating because you were so lean. You
Yep.
stuffed yourself, didn't matter.
Right.
Always lean.
Yep.
Now, were you in sports
Oh yeah.
so you were burning tons of calories?
12 months a year.
Okay. And
Yep.
did sports, well, tell me about how you got even aware of fitness or working out at all. Is that
High school sports.
from sports?
Yeah. High school sports because it was mandatory. It's weird
Right.
how that everything comes full circle.
So when you're in football,
But in football, it was like,
better put on
get
some
in the weight
muscle.
room. Get in the weight room.
You got to push that guy across the line from you. You got to be able to push him over.
Right. So that's where the fitness part came in.
Wouldn't you love to go back? Because
Oh,
you're
no,
at
no, no,
47.
no.
Wouldn't you love to go back in high school and listen to a recording of your like football coach or strength
about
coach
lifting.
telling you about
Man,
lifting and eating?
we
It's
had
pretty funny to watch now.
We had an advantage though.
Yeah.
Our guy was on lights out. Ended up in the NFL. Just as a strength coach in the NFL. We had
Really?
Yeah, we had Coach A was probably
Holy shit.
world renowned. Still
He-
is.
so he was legit.
Absolutely. So we were lucky there.
So this is
Or,
back
sorry,
in the late
we're-
80s, right? Early 90s.
Late 80s, early 90s, yeah.
So,
we
you were doing,
privileged.
right.
'cause
And
we
you were
had
doing,
him.
yeah, I'd say. And you were doing what kind of like strength resistance training stuff, right?
Yeah, the main five.
Okay.
I mean, the big five, we were doing that. We had all sorts of manual resistance techniques where we were going, after the barbell was too heavy, you had to drop it and put a towel in your hand, and then your partner would pull the towel, and you just complete overload.
Everything to go to failure.
Everything, complete failure, where you couldn't even lift your arms up. So, but guess what still was never talked about?
The nutrition piece.
Never.
Yeah.
Never, ever, ever talked about. Eat a lot.
Yep. Yeah.
You're like, you're too little. Eat.
You need more muscle.
You're too big. Don't eat. It was that simple.
Yeah, I remember my buddy was in wrestling, and they would basically tell him, you need to drop X amount of pounds. And looking back, how dangerous is that to have these high schoolers cutting,
Right.
and trying to get to these lower
The
weight,
wrestlers spitting in a cup and
Oh, yeah.
wearing
Or
garbage bags. And
just drinking water and, or
Yeah.
drinking this. Remember the sport shakes came in the blue and the pink?
oh, they're so good. Like 140 grams of sugar.
So bad for you. But he would like eat or drink those instead of a meal because his coach wanted him to get down to the next weight class.
Right. Right.
How dangerous is it? In retrospect, that's probably not good.
That's why not all, but a lot of wrestlers struggle with body fat and
I believe
eating
it.
disorders. And
Because at least in football, they're not trying to get you down to a certain weight.
yeah, you're never cutting.
They're saying,
Yeah.
get stronger. So
Yeah.
that's better if you have to choose between the two.
Right.
So they never talked about nutrition, just eat more, pack on muscle.
Yeah.
And you were lean, so they wanted you to get bigger.
yeah. I played quarterback, so I didn't have to get
Oh, okay.
that. Size really wasn't an issue, but you needed to fuel your workouts
Yeah.
and your performance on the field.
So at what point in your 20s or 30s did you start to pack on the LBs?
That was after I joined, graduated from Anoka in the Twin Cities. And then right after that, I went to North Hennepin Community College, where I played football for a year. And then I left, and that's when I joined the military. When I joined the military, that was kind of a part of your job. We weren't infantry or anything like that,
Right.
but we still needed to maintain some fitness standard.
Well, you have to pass a fitness, what do you call it?
Yeah, every couple of years.
Yeah. You got to meet a certain standard.
Yeah.
Right?
So, and you had to meet a BMI too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And if you didn't, guess what they did?
So did you eat less?
Put you on a program.
Which was?
We call it the Fat Boy program.
Well, and what was it? What did that consist of? I'm curious
Meeting
now.
with a dietitian and counting calories and working out, and you had
Okay.
to go work. You had to go to the gym every once in a while.
I'd love to see the literature behind that now.
Oh, I'm
you know,
sure
from
it's changed quite
25
a
years
bit.
ago. Yeah.
Right.
Well, hopefully it's changed, but
But and if you didn't, it's the United States military.
Yeah, they
if
just
you
go.
didn't change, they kick you out.
yeah, fuck you.
Yep, you're gone.
There's not.
Yeah.
They're not kindler, gentler. Back
No.
then, especially.
No, you get bounced.
Yep.
So that was always in the back of our mind that I want to get promoted.
Right.
And they told you over your head,
Yep.
you're not getting another stripe if you don't meet the requirements for the physical standards.
Ironically, though, what does the military feed you?
Junk.
Yeah.
It was,
Slop.
we used to go to the chow hall because it was cheap. We could go in there and fill a complete tray up for $1.40. I mean,
And what kind of food was it? Like,
good stuff, like Old Country Buffet.
oh, okay.
I mean, like
Meat,
that's what it
potatoes
looked like.
kind of stuff, yeah.
Yep. And then a dessert table. But I worked out a lot. Played flag football and baseball or softball, and always had something going on
Yeah.
that kept me busy outside of the gym. But one thing that really made a huge difference, and I miss it to this day, is that you could tell your immediate supervisor, lunch hours from 11 to 12, whatever.
Right.
Hour. You got an hour. You got 45 minutes. You got an hour. Get back here. Well, I'm going to go work out. Okay, you have 2 hours.
So they'd give you an allowance.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, because they understand what's important
part
in
of
the
your job.
military.
It's part of your job.
You got to be in shape. I don't want the guy running from the enemy to not be able to keep up.
And they'd say, yeah, we can't require you to be in shape or meet minimum level of physical standard
Yeah.
and not allow you the time to go do that.
Right. Makes sense. Yeah.
So that was a perk. And I didn't know how much I appreciated it until I got out.
Oh yeah. So when did you start packing on LBs?
After,
So at this point you're still lean. So you're like mid 20s, right?
yeah.
So when did you start packing on pounds?
After I got out of the military.
And was it slow?
No, it was pretty quick.
Because all of a sudden you're not in the military, you're not in football, you're just working a job.
Working a
right?
job, I'm playing softball.
Eating, drinking, whatever you want.
Yep.
And there's no expectation of remaining in shape
Right.
from your employer or your,
Right.
the military.
Except to get chicks,
Right.
which turns out is a pretty strong reason. But then when I met Mel and we got married,
Then you really just gave up.
kinda, yeah,
You're
kinda,
like, well, I got a chick, so what do I need to
right,
look this
which is
good for?
complete bullshit because she
It
didn't
is,
do
yeah.
that to me.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I feel bad. I have a lot of making up to do. But it was,
So at what point were you?
it was
I'm about to show a picture.
where it really got sideways is when we got our lake place, and Friday I worked in the agricultural business or industry, and I was in sales, straight commission. So I made my own schedule.
Oh,
So
right.
and we had our lake place.
Yeah.
So it was Thursday afternoon to Monday afternoon every week throughout the summer. And then what do you do there?
Oh, just drink.
Eat and drink.
Yeah.
That's it. Eat and drink and golf. We had a golf course, but we had carts.
Yep.
So you just drive your
Not
cart
even
to your
walking.
ball. Yeah, just talk about just being a slob. And it was a short executive course, like 3,600 yards.
Okay.
Didn't even walk it.
Right.
But anyways,
So then over a course of how long till you got to this picture I'm about
I
to
would
show you?
probably say that was 2007. That was right at the end. Speaking of the lake, those are the lake guys.
There it is. Okay, you guys got to go on YouTube and look at Duey in the corner of the screen here live versus Duey in the center of this picture. I mean, I can see your gut,
I'm sucking it in.
and that's sucked in.
Yeah.
So what did you, I mean, your face too. I mean, it's just, you look like a different person. And what was your weight at this point?
Oh, that wasn't quite my heaviest. That was probably right around the time that my before picture was.
Okay.
So I was 250,
Yikes. And you're what? 5'11", 6 foot?
6'1".
6'1", okay. Yeah, so yikes, man. So when you now were you just how did you feel about this versus having been in shape and being lean your whole what age were you here? You said 2007, so it was about 14 years ago. So you're what, like 33-ish?
Yep.
Now, how did you feel walking around like that? Did you feel like a piece of shit?
I didn't know it. I didn't know it until right around the time we got to the lake place and we were there for
How did you feel with your shirt off and bathing suit on?
I really didn't give a shit. I didn't.
You're just like, whatever, I'm just
Yeah.
a dad bod.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
rocking a
Just
dad bod.
whatever. But I was self-conscious.
Yeah.
It had to be pretty hot before I'd take it off.
Because your wife's really trim.
Yeah.
So then you look extra beastly
Right.
compared to her.
Right. Then people see us together and they're just like, whoa,
And go, whoa, what the hell was she thinking?
Jesus Christ.
She really settled.
What contest in hell did she win?
Exactly.
So yeah, there was one picture. I'm just like everybody else.
Yep.
And I saw a picture of me on a boat with my shirt on, just leaning against the side of it was a pontoon.
Yeah.
And I had a pretty big shirt on. And I could still see
The outline of the gut
outline of my gut
protruding.
and a double X t-shirt.
Oh, shit.
And it was tight,
Wow.
like right through here.
Yeah. Yikes.
And I'll never forget that picture. And
so
I'm
that
like,
shocked you?
yeah, it was shock value. And I was like, you fucking kidding me? That's my, Mel, come here. Is that my stomach? And she went, yeah. And walked away.
Right.
You know, she's
Yeah, she knew.
never going to say
She has
anything.
eyeballs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She wouldn't fat shame me. She'd give me the, I just don't care what you look like. I just want you to be healthy.
That's code for drop some weight.
It
dude.
is. It is. That's code for I can't stand seeing you naked.
Exactly.
But
So here's another picture too. Okay.
so that is about the same time. You can see that probably 2000.
God damn.
That was actually about 2011 because the BlackBerry was a big thing. You can
Yep.
see.
Yep. 10 years. So that's 10 years ago.
Yep.
So yeah, that's, I mean, a redonkulous gut.
Yep.
I mean, if you would have measured, we're doing the waist to height
Yeah.
ratio, and you said you're at a 34 now,
Yeah.
which
Above
is
the belly
under
button.
half.
Right.
Right. So you would have been 40 something.
Oh,
Maybe
probably
50.
50.
Yeah. I mean, dude.
Yep. Because I had a 46-inch chest, and it's not much
And it's
smaller.
bigger than that.
than my waist.
Yeah. Right.
So,
Yikes. So you were completely unhealthy.
yep.
I mean, now knowing what we know now, I mean, you were really at risk.
Oh, without a doubt.
So
I was well on my way.
and you've told the story before, but now talk about, okay, you saw the picture of yourself on the boat, and okay, you saw that and you got shocked, but what made you actually decide, okay, I'm going to take action and I'm going to actually do something about this and
Well,
started you on your journey?
For the biggest comment that I ever got was, and I've told this story before, I don't even remember who said it. I still don't.
Right.
But was suit yourself as long as you have no problem with some other guy walking your daughter down the aisle.
Yikes. Yeah.
And that comment alone was the reason for the picture on the right.
I fucked you up, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did.
Right.
Because you know why it fucked me up? Because he's right.
Right.
He was right.
Yeah. Cause you were
I don't
literally,
get to cheat that.
no,
That's
danger.
That's life. That's science. That's fact.
And the sad part is, we talk about this all the time, when you see pictures of the beaches in the 60s and stuff, everybody was lean, looked like you on the right. Now everybody looks like you on the left. Everybody looks like a before picture, so that's normal.
Yeah.
So you walk around thinking, well, sure, I don't look great naked, but whatever.
Right.
I'm just average.
Right.
But you have no idea the risk.
No, and
The
I
risk
didn't.
level.
I didn't at the time.
So now you had talked about your doctor wanted to put you on a statin, and all that kind of stuff.
Statin, blood pressure meds.
Blood pressure stuff, all because of your weight.
Yeah, I was on the left. I was 33 and mid 30s.
Yep.
And I was probably 160 over 110.
Blood pressure, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, through the roof.
Crazy, man.
And in your 30s.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. You don't get the old age excuse.
Right.
So the guy said the thing about, do you want somebody else to walk your daughter down the aisle? You saw the picture. So then what were your first steps? Like how did you, cause you've seen I'm sure you've seen people at CrossFit.
First step was to
at
take the
gym.
picture
Okay.
on the left.
Yeah. But how did you decide what to do? Because you didn't know anything about
I didn't know
nutrition
anything
and
about
fitness
it
at this point.
So one of the things that we did through attrition, none of this shit happens overnight.
No. Yeah, this is a 10-year ago picture right now.
Right. Well, that on the right is 2016.
Okay. So
Yeah.
still 5 years between the two.
Yep.
So it's not a 6-month transformation.
Right. Right.
And I remember you said the picture on the right, you want to make that look like a before picture. So you're not even
No, there's a picture.
100% happy
There's
with
a
that.
picture right of that one that's coming.
right. Exactly.
So, but
Because really, I mean, you're way, way, way leaner.
Yeah.
But you don't have really visible abs.
Yeah, no,
You're
I'm-
probably close to 20% body
Right.
fat as opposed to maybe 35%.
over 40.
Over 40.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a dramatic reduction. But yeah, a lot of people, you still got ways to
Oh,
go
yeah.
if you're trying to get down to 8%, 9% body fat.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you can start seeing the little V thing that's
Yep.
about to start happening.
But I mean, it's amazing though. You don't have love handles. Like it's a pretty much straight up and down side.
Right.
So, it's a massive, massive improvement. So what did you try? Well, first of all, how did you think about diet versus working out? Like, did you know how important diet was?
No, no, not at all. My first thing was join a gym and run your ass off and
Outrun it.
and join, sign up for a marathon.
Outwork it.
I was about my first marathon ever was around that time. A half marathon, sorry.
You attended as a watcher.
Oh no, I ran on that.
You ran as that guy.
Yep.
Holy shit!
Run's a pretty relative term.
You shuffled.
I shuffled. I was a professional shuffler, and I walked a lot. But it didn't matter because it always was that carrot out at the end of the stick that made me go, all right, something to chase. If I don't sign up for the half marathon, I'm not going to get up at 5:30 in the morning and go plod along on the treadmill.
So you said, but at this point where you're like, fucking, I'm eating my beer and pizza and keeping my diet the same.
For the most part, we slowly whittled away and started to get rid of the beer fridge in the garage.
Right.
And that's part of what built the dude on the left was the beer fridge.
Oh yeah.
The beer.
Yeah,
every
you're giving
single night.
And you're given that oxidative priority. You're given a lot of that number one. So the body's taking that beer that's burning that. It's not burning any body fat ever.
Yep.
And it was other food gets stored.
And it was the bad decisions, like when you take home the 2 thinking or the 10 and then wake up with the 2.
I was sober then.
And
no excuse.
I would be in the garage doing house projects, working on the house, fixing this or doing whatever, and I would be just hammering Busch Lights.
How many would you drink in a day, you think?
Weekday, at least for sure a 6-pack.
Holy shit.
And then weekends till I was done.
Right. Till it was either out or
I couldn't.
You were asleep. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
So I ended up, but the problem is that, the bringing the 10 home from the bar, waking up with a 2 analogy, is I would come into the house, stumbling into the kitchen,
and then just
cranking open the fridge and going,
pizza rolls.
There's a 10.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I'm doing okay.
Yep.
I'm bringing home a 10. This is awesome. And I'd wake up in the morning and like, I ate way too much.
Yeah. You just,
my God, I can't. And I'd go in the kitchen.
All your logic is gone.
And I'd be like, that really happened.
It turns out drunk people don't make good decisions, in case anyone was wondering.
Yeah, if we haven't made that perfectly clear.
So you were crushing it, trying to outrun the diet.
Yep.
Now, and then you slowly whittled away at the diet side, on the nutrition side.
Yep.
And then when did you finally go and figure out what nutrition meant and get educated on the nutrition side of it?
Well,
when did you start actually dropping? I want to know what caused you to actually start dropping.
Okay. That's very definitive time too.
Okay.
It was not an accident, and it wasn't even really that gradual because it took me a long time to get to the point where I became aware. And then once I became aware, it happened pretty quick.
So once you put the knowledge into action, then
yes.
But for years, results happened.
But for years, I spun my wheels thinking I could outrun it.
Okay. Yep. So what was the change?
For me is when I started doing enough research to figure out just how the metabolism worked, how it reacted. And then, luckily, I stumbled upon low carb.
What was the first inklings of it? Who did you first stumble upon? Was it like
It was regurgitated.
Sean Baker on Rogan or somebody?
No, way before that.
That was before that, yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't even such thing as Rogan. It was just
like
recycled Atkins stuff.
Okay, yeah. Yep. Atkins, yeah.
Yep. So, and like anyone else.
Did you hear about Gary Taubes?
For sure.
Back then? Yeah.
For sure.
That was my first lighthouse.
That was the
low carb.
Absolutely.
Gary Taubes, yeah.
So, and not unlike anyone else that does low carb or keto, even the ones who do vegan or whatever they do, I was like, I'm going to do this low carb thing. Because Atkins right away was, holy shit, I can eat as much as I want.
Yeah,
I can't have any carbs.
And it's good because it's bacon.
Yeah, I don't have, well,
bacon and
Atkins
eggs.
really wasn't. Atkins was low carb, low fat.
Really?
Yep.
See, I always heard Atkins was
not. No, Atkins was
just
not
eat
keto.
Animal products and don't care how much.
No. No, Atkins was just low carb.
So lean meat.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
So what
Atkins
actually worked? What did you do that actually started you dropping?
It was just cutting out the carbs.
Okay.
When I started doing that, I started losing weight, and I started not being hungry all the time.
Yeah.
Because the reason I couldn't outrun the diet before is because I was always hungry.
Yeah.
And
all that running just made you more hungry.
Exactly. And I was the guy who'd come home from the gym and be like, Oh man, that lasagna looks good. Well, I did work out today.
I did run half a marathon.
Yeah, no, I ran 14 minutes.
Yeah.
I shuffled for 14 minutes on the treadmill.
I deserve half a pan of lasagna.
Right. Got to carb up. Wrong. Carb up because I'm going to do it
Carb up.
tomorrow again.
Oh, dude, remember that in the 80s? You'd eat, I mean, they literally told you eat a bunch of spaghetti before you run.
Right.
I mean, carbing up was a thing.
Right. Yeah, it's stupid.
So when you discovered low carb, that's when the weight started coming
That's when
off.
it started coming off.
Now, when did you switch from running and pretty much all cardio to I need to pump some iron?
I was doing that the entire time.
Okay.
So
You were
throughout
working
this
out,
entire
resistance
process, I
training?
never stopped lifting.
Okay, so you were doing that from the start.
Yep.
Did you change the amount of cardio you did? Because you obviously started out trying to run marathons.
Well, I did change the cardio.
The ratio of cardio to lifting. Did you change that?
No, I always just lifted. But what I did do is I only had a small window of cardio, and that was the 4 or 5 months leading up to the marathon.
Oh, okay. That's when you concentrate on the training
Yep.
piece.
Yep. And I, dropped 10, 15 pounds.
So the
And
funny
then I'd
thing
come
is,
sliding into lake season. And
oh yeah. Well, and the thing is, even on this picture, there's muscle under there. It's just covered by a crap ton of fat.
yeah.
Right.
I was never cold.
Right. Even if you were lifting, yeah, right, exactly. Even if you were lifting, that just controls how much muscle's on you, but it's really the layers of fat that are, whether makes you lean or obese.
Right.
So, it's not that you were a weakling under there. It's just that you had a crap ton of fat on top.
Yep.
So I'm sure once you started working out, that was easy to maintain. And the diet piece was really what caused the
Oh, 100%.
fat to drop off.
Absolutely.
So that's a huge light bulb for people.
Yep.
And that was mine too, because I did the same exact thing, not to make this the Josh story, but I bought an elliptical. So I'm like, I ain't changing my diet. Tried that for like 6 months, didn't drop a single pound. I work out religiously, for like 45 minutes a night. And, while I'm eating a Twinkie practically.
Right.
And didn't drop a single pound. And the minute I got Good Calories, Bad Calories by Gary Taubes. And
Yep.
I'm like, holy shit. Then I started eating bacon and eggs and cut out the carbs. I started dropping a pound a day
Right.
for the first like 20 days. It
Yeah.
was insane
Yep.
how quick it was.
Yep.
Like you said, you limped along forever spinning your wheels. And then when you discovered cutting carbs, then it just started melting off.
Yeah.
I mean,
It really did. But like we were talking about when you brought up the idea for this as a show idea, I said it'd be really important to let people know that it wasn't completely linear
Oh, no.
and gradual in the right direction.
Right.
It looked like an EKG. It was
Yeah. It wasn't like you just all of a sudden realized, everything was, you knew what to do and then just steady drop down to
Right.
your goal weight.
No, it was ebbs and flows. I gained, a lot of people don't know this, even if you follow me closely on social media, but I gained a good chunk of weight over COVID.
Oh, just because like you're at home and bored
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Well,
what else? is
not
there
to make
do?
excuses, but we really, really, really were committed to helping Moorhead restaurants to stay open.
Oh, right. Exactly.
So we ordered out a lot, and I went and, brick house. And if I was getting takeout, I had to get a beer.
And you're stuck in your damn house. So
Right.
you're not out and being active either.
Right.
I mean, that is an excuse because, I work out in my house, so you could still work out.
Right. So I gained a good chunk of weight from original COVID shutdown, which was, I don't know, what was it, February?
Yeah.
From then until we actually got outside and we could start rucking and
Yeah.
running and doing shit outside, then it started to come back off.
Right.
But I ballooned up a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
mean, I
It's
was
not
at
linear.
two-
It's not a steady.
No.
It's like you said.
Yep.
It's
And I
freaking-
got almost 230
Wow.
last spring. But the difference is,
Now you know what to do, though.
but not just that. Not only do I know what to do, the second, because my lean body mass is so high,
Yeah.
because I have a fair amount of muscle.
I'll say.
Easy. It's not that kind of show. Is when I decide to say, all right, I'm going to be in a caloric deficit. If I'm in a 500 calorie deficit,
Just starts coming out.
it's like sweat.
Right. And another reason why people need to get their lean muscle mass up.
100%.
Because of that. I mean, you can't be, a frail weakling and expect to burn a bunch of calories at rest.
So when people say, well, I'm going to Vegas this weekend, what should I do? Because I don't want to unravel what I did all week long. Well, that's simple. The easiest way to go to Vegas for the weekend and take
start
advantage.
weightlifting 5 years ago.
Right. The easiest way to take advantage of that weekend and not gain an ounce is to bust your ass with heavy weights the rest of the year before that trip.
Exactly. And be in a state where you're always burning so many calories at rest that, it's not that it doesn't affect you that much.
Right.
Yeah. And just the strength reasons, the longevity, the bone density,
There's
all these
so
crazy
many other benefits. But
yeah.
from a strictly fat loss standpoint, just have more of you, healthy version,
Right.
More of you to go around.
Yeah.
You're going to require more calories.
Yep.
Just to run the systems.
Yeah, exactly. So, so that's important for people to understand that, we don't want to make this sound like it was easy. I mean, the before and after picture, well, the before, there's a 5-year difference between the two pictures that we showed on the screen.
Yeah.
And
there's going to be another
5 freaking years.
There's going to be another 5.
And this was 10 years ago.
Right.
The before picture was 10 years ago, and you're still not done. And you, in air quotes, know what you're doing.
Yep.
You have all this knowledge and dedication, and you're working out all the time, and it's still a work in progress. You're never done.
No.
And I think that's important too, because I think you have to have something to shoot for. It's funny, I was watching a YouTube video of a fitness guy the other day, and he was kind of depressed, and he was saying he hadn't made any videos in a while, and he had a really big channel.
I watched that same one.
And he said, he's a guy from England, I think.
Yeah.
But he was like, I don't have any goals because I got to where I wanted.
Yeah.
He was lean. He was super muscular. He's like, I've reached my genetic potential. I'm not going to get any bigger.
Right.
I'm not going to get any leaner. He's already at like 8% body fat.
So
he was like, what?
Like I tell people,
what is there to chase?
The process.
Right.
You got to fall in love with the process. If you fall in love with the practice, not just the game.
Right. Well, what's that saying that it's the journey, not the destination?
For sure.
Right. Because eventually you will peak out on your,
right.
You're gonna PR your bench, and it's not gonna go up because as you get older.
Well, and you get older, and you tap out of your genetics.
Exactly. So you can't ever PR the rest of your life.
Right.
So you have to measure.
But it's no different than anything else in your life. When you say when you were younger, we all said it. God, if I could just make $50,000 a year, I'd be set.
Right.
Well, then you do, and you're like, if I could just make 6 figures, I'd have 0 problems in the world. Problems are still fucking there.
Yep.
If I could just lose 30 pounds, no. Your happiness is not at the end of achievement.
No.
So you have to fall in love with the process. Just have fun and fall in love with just getting there.
Yeah, and then I think you have
to just getting along.
And if you're somebody that needs goals, then you have to just set a different goal. Like maybe it's increasing your flexibility or switching up your workouts.
Or try something different. Try a half marathon.
Right. If you reach your genetic goals or your visual aesthetic goals, and you're like super lean and you got the most muscle you can genetically maintain, then what then? Well, I can be more flexible. Can I?
Sky's the limit.
Yeah. Can I run? Can I accomplish this thing? But yeah, you always have to. I think you have to have something you're striving for. And luckily it gets way harder towards the end of the journey, so that takes a long freaking time to say, well, I'm here. Most people never get there, so it can be a lifelong pursuit.
And speaking of for sure. And speaking of never getting there and falling in love with the process, one thing that's super, super, super important to let people know is if you look at that before and after picture of me, I can't put into words or vocalize or say it anyway that will do it justice, but I'm going to try. You will never, ever, ever know. What are you doing? Oh, I didn't know we had that music. If you put your mind to it, no. But you'll never, ever, ever, ever know how much easier life is for that guy on the right.
Preach it.
It's just everything. from tying your shoe to going to work.
Literally.
Life is so much easier and so much better. And you owe it to yourself to get to that point.
Amen, brother. That's freaking right.
You picked pretty good music.
I could sense you were going on a Tony Robbins
You're
rant
good
there.
at that stuff. So that's my one takeaway is give yourself a chance.
Well, what's that saying? Nothing tastes as good as being in shape or something like that.
Fit feels.
Yeah, as being fit feels. Yeah, exactly.
And then you always got the smart ass that looks like me on the left that says, you never had so-and-so's pizza. Sure I have.
Cinnamon
That's why I
rolls.
looked like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't come at me with that. That's stupid.
That's so true.
But it's the other takeaway I want people to realize is that and I said it already, but I'm going to say it again. It was not linear.
Right.
It did not fucking come easy to me.
Yeah, don't look at his before and after and go, well, it was easy for him.
Yeah, and people that when they say, "Well, that's you," I want to punch them in the throat.
Yeah,
because it sucked.
Because it's probably right, and you look like the dude on the left.
Right.
That was you.
Right.
So it's not, sure, it's easy to look at you now and go, oh, it's easy.
But you got genetics. You did drugs. No, I didn't do anything other than just figure out what diet worked for me.
Yep.
And just said enough.
So really the main message, is that anyone's capable of this. If you just get the knowledge, there's no knowledge gap anymore between, hiring Duey as your coach, finding another coach out there, going on YouTube, all the data is there. Back in the day, you had to stumble on it or something,
Right.
But now the information is out there. So there's really no reason not to do it.
I need to rephrase that because it just popped into my head. When I say I'm no different than you, it's just hard and it sucks and it's a grind and you got, it's not really. It's not.
There's as much
contradicting myself.
Well,
but
there's as much negativity as in being fat as there is in maintaining decent weight. You know what I mean? They both suck. I mean, they're not. Neither one is is easy.
Keeping it off is way easier than
right,
losing.
But it's still, it takes some. It's not going to be super easy. It's not an easy pursuit.
And it's when I say, I just wanted to clarify that when I say it sucks and it's hard, is the only reason it sucks and it's really hard is because it fucking takes time.
Right.
If it's not going to happen overnight. If you get impatient and you're saying, I've been on this diet for 4 hours, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Then you're just going to drive yourself crazy.
Why do I not look like the after picture yet?
Right.
Well, yeah, remember, that's a 5-year journey.
Yeah.
And like I said, you still don't feel like you're done there. And,
remember when I said oxidative priority, what's the first thing they ask about? Drinking.
Right.
Guess what the first question out of everyone's mouth with number one with a bullet is when they see that picture.
Did you stop drinking beer?
No. How long did it take?
Oh, right.
How long did it take? When I tell them, that's about 5 years. Oh, fuck.
Then they're just disheartened, right?
Yeah. They're like, 5 years. Guess what? The time's going to pass either way.
Yeah. Do you want to look back in 5 years and go, holy shit, I've improved, or holy shit, I'm the same, or worse?
I don't know why, but that just reminded me of this one tweet I saw, and it said, I was going through a bunch of old pictures, and I saw all the years and years of before pictures, and all it was a progression of me getting fatter.
Right. Yeah, exactly, dude. Well, unfortunately, with father time and genetics and just getting older, if you don't take action, that is what you'll do. Nobody's going to get leaner with time.
Right.
Without taking a firm, purposeful action. You have to be purposeful.
I will say one thing some people don't like hearing this, but that's why we have this podcast.
Yep.
We say a lot of shit people don't like to hear. You don't need your hard music or something, but this is tough love.
Okay.
This is a hard pill to swallow. And this is where people fail.
Yep.
And will continue to fail until they do what I'm about to say. Mm. You will not go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right hanging around the same people.
Ooh.
You just won't. When you get to the person on the right, you will not have the same friends.
Ooh, that's rough. But you know what?
I'm sorry.
Well, the same goes for, I've read a ton of, self-help kind of stuff, business stuff. That's one of the things that they say is surround yourself with,
People you want to be like.
yeah, the people you're around the most, the five most people you're around the most is
Who you become.
who's going to define what your life is.
Right.
So hang out with people that are winning, not people that are losing. And yeah, if you're hanging around with other people that are overweight and don't care about their fitness, then chances are you're going to stay in that direction or become like them.
Going to Buffalo Wild Wings on a random Saturday night and eating 6,000 calories worth of free wings and beer and watching hockey doesn't fit anymore, dude.
No.
It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit into that plan.
What will they tell people that are in treatment for alcoholism? You can't hang out with the same people.
No, they have new friends too.
You got to, and it's no different because that peer pressure's there, just that wanting to be part of the group, all that stuff.
All that, yeah.
And if I remember in Pumping Iron, when Arnold would talk about, they'd go out to eat and be like, don't eat the bun. Right. And they'd give each other shit if they eat the bun when they get burgers or whatever.
But
because they're
all of them knew they shouldn't eat the bun.
Yeah, they're keeping each other accountable.
Yeah.
They're like practically slapping the bun off the plate. Like, don't eat that.
But for them, going to eat was a means to an end.
It was necessary.
Not entertainment.
Yeah, it was necessary, and they kept each other honest.
Right.
Because, they all had the same shared goal of having huge muscles and no fat.
Right. But even just the sleep component. Now I wake up on a Saturday and I have a small circle of friends, close friends, and I wake up on a Saturday and I say, hey, JJ, it's nice out. Let's go for a ruck. We put on a weighted vest or a backpack and we go 10 miles.
Right.
Picture on the left. That's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yep.
And let's pound 6 beers and then let's run into town to the diner and crush 4,000 calorie omelet. Just in time to come back to start grilling.
Yeah. All drinking the entire time.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Dude.
So, yeah, it's some things are going to have to change. But I'm going to go back to the dramatic Tony Robbins part is that it's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
Because now you pull all the chicks.
Or keep the one you got.
Exactly. That's awesome, man. All right. Well, that was Dewey's story, and that took like an hour.
That's why there's a podcast.
And I love
and everything else.
And that's why I wanted to do this episode was because I think I learn the best through anecdotes and people's personal stories. It's one thing to hear about oxidative priority and all these other technical terms, but when you hear about somebody who actually, lost 50 pounds, leaned out a ton, put on a bunch of muscle, that's somebody that you should want to emulate and you want to learn from those people. And I think that is more effective of a motivational device.
And it's proof.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
exactly.
He did it.
Yeah, why can't I? And if you look at the guy on the left, there's no you're not looking at that guy going, well, he's got it easy. Look at his genetics. No, look at that chunky dude. It's not, you wouldn't say that guy has it easy by any means.
They say it two ways. They see the guy on the right and they say that guy has it easy. He has superior genetics. And they say the guy on the left, oh, that poor guy, he has really bad genetics.
Not understanding that you have control.
Right.
All people have control. Even if and there are people that have shitty genetics and metabolisms do vary.
I have shitty genetics.
But no matter what, you can move the needle from wherever you're at. Some people, it's just easier. Okay, well, good for them.
Right.
But if you're not one of those people, then you're just going to have to work harder. Just like, I'm 5'8", so guess what? I can't dunk. So for me, playing basketball is a lot harder of a pursuit. If I wanted to get really good at basketball, it's going to take a lot more effort than if I was 6'8".
Right.
So am I going to complain about, well, how come I'm not
being
6'8"?
Gifted. Right.
Yeah,
no.
And that
play the hand you were dealt.
Exactly. And that brings up, I saw this meme too, which I think is apropos. So for those listening, it has a guy on a deserted island and he spelled out help with some wood, in picture A. And then in picture B, he took that same wood and made a raft. And it says, victim mentality will get you killed. No one is coming. It's up to you.
Yep.
Right? So, I mean, you have to look in the mirror and take charge and say, well, Duey did it, why can't I?
And I know it sounds super cliche, but seriously, if I did it, anyone can.
Yeah, exactly. Right on.
You just have to get fed up.
Exactly right, man. All right. Well, that was Dewey's story. Now, let's check out. How fat is Josh? Get the tape, brah.
Dude, you dropped.
I dropped again. Another pound.
Nice work.
Down to a new low, 171. Down 23.6 pounds. I am going to get a body fat scan pretty soon. I feel like my percentage will have changed if I do the hydrostatic. So we're going to measure the old waist here. Yeah, baby.
Does that feel good?
That's kind of right on the ribs there. When I get below the ribs.
Fucking around with the tape
When
measure.
I get below the ribs so we get the actual fattiness. Because the ribs ain't going to change.
Are we good?
I think we're good, yeah.
I'm going to get my stupid hand on it. 34.5.
Whoa. That seems low. Remeasure again. It can't be a 1.5 inch drop, can it?
I don't know.
Try one more time. Make sure it's straight.
There. No, let go.
All right. Oh. Go lower your side a little bit. Boy, people are annoyed right now.
Oh, look.
What does it say?
Can you see?
I can't see. If I look, it'll explode and injure your eyes.
It's 34.5.
All right. Fuck yeah, I'll take it. I think I have a reason why it might be so good.
Measure twice, cut once.
Boom, bitches. All right.
Steroids?
No.
Did you buy Hydroxycut?
Dude, I've been going down a rabbit hole of serious. There's this guy called More Plates, More Dates on YouTube.
Yes, I've heard
and
of
all
him.
he does is natty or not
Yeah.
steroid talk. And even though I would never, ever consider doing that stuff, it's very, very fascinating to me. But anyways, I'm in the middle of
Oh, shit.
at 10
pretty
p.m.
good.
tonight, it'll be 72 hours. I'm 66 hours into a fast right now.
Wow. That's legit.
And I've worked out every other night. I feel great.
Now you're afraid to break because you're like,
I am.
I feel too good.
I got that blissful feeling,
Yep.
that total spiritual creaminess going on.
No, and then people are like,
And I'm not that hungry.
oh, for sure.
Because, okay, it's my daughter's birthday over the weekend. I fucked up.
Sure.
Went to my mom's house, had waffles for 2 days because we had basically 2 days of birthdays, a friend party
Yep.
and a family party.
Yep.
I fucked up, ate my ass off. And I was like, all right, I need to fucking get back on track. So Sunday night, started the old fasting clock, and all I've done is drink water and, a couple Diet Cokes.
Sure.
And I feel great. I know I'm burning body fat. I mean, look, my waist is down.
Right.
My poundage is down. So the trick is now when do I break it? Because I still feel good and I'm not that hungry. And it's been almost 72 hours, but I feel like reaches a point of diminishing returns kind of.
Yeah,
I need to fuel my, my muscle growth or maintenance at least.
I would probably go with 72.
Yeah,
tops.
I feel like maybe I'll break it in the morning. Just eat some meat.
Yeah, break it with lean protein. Don't
Yep.
break it with a bunch of fat
Yeah, exactly.
or carbs.
So anyways, just to recap, I'm down 7 inches on the waist and down 23.6 pounds.
Think about that.
Yeah,
7
yeah.
inches in the waist. That's like a hat size.
Oh, dude. Right. Well, it takes me from, I'm half inch away from the ultimate optimal measurement
The pillar.
because I'm 68 inches tall. So exactly half of that is 34. So I'm half inch away from optimal.
Right.
And anything below that, I'm in the low risk or no risk category.
Sure.
So that's huge.
It is.
So that's that. So that was this weekend. How fat is Josh? Oh, yeah.
Pretty fat. Mm-hmm. So
Speaking of the, hang on.
so
let
what
me
body fat percentage do you need to get to change the jingle?
I think I'm just going to keep it out of tradition, even when I'm not fat anymore.
Even pretty fat part.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll change that.
All right.
So in honor of the more plates, more dates guy, I made a couple new shirts.
100% natty.
It says 100% natty.
You know here's the catch though for the guy, especially with the tank, 100% natty. You don't want to get a situation where you're wearing one and some guy goes, "Yeah, we know."
Yeah, I know. But I thought those are funny though, so I made a couple more shirts. So
Nobody's asking that question, dude.
right? Yeah, you better be pretty ripped if you're gonna wear one of these,
Right.
But even kind of as a joke, it'd be funny. Like if you're a fat dude,
For sure.
actually the best would be a fat dude wearing one of these. It says 100% natty. 'Cause that'd be hilarious, right?
That would be.
So go to furiousmerch.com and buy one of these for your fat friends.
Or the one that says, I beat anorexia.
That's good. Oh man. All right, guys. Well, that is our show for this week. So make sure, guys, we need shares. People share the videos, share the YouTube channel, share the audio.
Don't make us
podcasts.
go all do such dorky, dopey bullshit to gain followers and listeners, because we will. Don't tempt us.
Clickbait your asses.
Right.
Just
so
watch me.
From the beginning, we said we're going to try and provide decent content that people are interested in, people can learn from, and might laugh once in a while.
And one of these weeks, we're going to get there and provide that.
Right. Maybe. With any luck.
But yeah, we really appreciate any shares, people. We would love that. It really helps us out.
We want it organic.
Yep.
We don't want to buy followers.
Oh, hell no. So go on YouTube, watch extra weekly shenanigans and weekly extra content. Anywhere audio podcasts are found, Apple, Spotify, all those cool places. So subscribe, give us some ratings, review, and please share. Go to furiousmerch.com for t-shirts, and we will see you next week.
Fade to black.